Welcome back to Andrea Fontana Beauty. I'm sharing the easiest clean out the fridge meal ever for your Instapot. You can turn any frozen chicken into a delicious meal that you don't have to do a lot for. So, as you can see here, I'm adding a couple chicken breasts that were frozen into my Instapot with some cut up russet potatoes and a white onion. I'm just breaking that apart so that it is easier to cook. Wash the potatoes, cut them up. You can see I'm adding one of the sauces from B-Dubs that we love. This is Parmesan garlic. I'm just going to squeeze that into the Instapot. I think I did maybe half a cup, third of a cup if I had to guess, probably third of a cup. Then I am using a spoon to just kind of mix that around, get it all over, coat the chicken a little bit, putting on my lid here. And then you can see I'm going to put the Instapot to turning on the pressure cook setting, turning it to chicken, doing 13 minutes on high, and setting that. Over here, I'm going to make a very quick and easy cucumber salad. We love a good cucumber salad in this house. So I'm starting by cutting up one red onion. I'm just cutting it in half and then cutting it into some thin slices, basically little like semicircles, adding those to my salad bowl. Next, I have 3 English cucumbers. Those are the ones that are seedless. I prefer those because then I don't feel like I have to peel them. But again, I just cut the cucumber in half lengthwise and then cut them into little half circles. Add those to the bowl. Next, I am rinsing 1 can of chickpeas, popping those in, tossing this all up. Time for my favorite vinaigrette ever. This is going to be in my cookbook, but I kind of measure it differently every time. To be honest, I don't usually measure it when I do it not on camera, but for the sake of the video, it is about half a cup of red wine vinegar, about half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, salt, kosher salt is what I use on everything, freshly ground black pepper, and then a ton of dried oregano. 9 times out of 10 when I'm making a salad, this is what I'm using to dress it. Just tossing it all up, and this is a good salad. I love to make a big portion of it because it keeps in the fridge really well, and I think it gets better the longer that it marinates in the fridge. So after my 13 minutes were up on this Instant Pot, I open it up and you can see that my chicken is not quite cooked. So I actually put the top back on and we did it for another 10 minutes, maybe 6 minutes. You can see also something I forgot to mention that I didn't do that is very important is you have to add a cup of water, usually about half a cup to a cup of water in order for the Instapot to come to pressure. It needs that liquid in order to steam and create the pressure. So I forgot to mention that I did that. But I love this because then the water combined with the drippings of the cooked chicken and the sauce will make like a nice little sauce to top everything with. So this is me serving up the plate, the chicken breast, the potatoes, the onions, all that good Parmesan garlic flavor, and then that cucumber chickpea salad on the side. So this is the finished dinner. All right, I wanted to show you guys today's clean out the fridge meal. We're having sourdough pizzas again, but we're using all leftovers to top it. So I have an abundance of cheese. Sadly, that's the only mozzarella I have, so I'm gonna have to supplement with the other shredded cheese, but this is some sourdough discard that I put in a container after I fed my starter earlier today. And then we have some pepperoni left over from a previous appetizer that I made on New Year's Eve, some tomato sauce, and then this is some sauteed bell peppers and red onions that we made for dinner last night. They went on top of these delicious hot dogs, and I figured might as well put them on the pizza. So I'll show you what everything looks like when it's done. Okay, I wanted to show this salad kit because Mikey and I are big fans of salad kits for sides when we want something easy. We want to get some veggies in. So this is the Taylor Farms Buffalo Ranch chopped kit. We love all the like Buffalo Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, all of those. This has romaine lettuce, cabbage, broccoli, green onion, carrots, seasoned croutons, and Monterey Jack cheese, only on mine because Mikey hates cheese, and then Buffalo Ranch dressing. So I just mixed that up and split it between the two of us, and I will show you the pizzas when they're done. They're in the oven right now. All right, so here are the finished pizzas. This is Mikey's. He likes less cheese, but there's the peppers, onions, and some pepperoni, and I baked them. There's mine with more cheese, obviously. I baked them, just the crust, for 10 minutes, then the toppings 10 more minutes, and then I always broil them at the end for an additional 2 minutes just to make sure that that cheese is bubbly. They look so good, and they are filling but way less heavy because they are sourdough. Love them. All right, I'll see you in the next meal. Bye. Okay, so for tonight's dinner, we are having buffalo chicken bowls. And I'm trying to clean out the fridge, as you can see here. So our base is, this is rice that I cooked in the Instapot earlier this week. I have a lot of it, a little in here too. Just my regular rice that I make in the Instapot with onions and garlic. I'm gonna heat that in the microwave with chickpeas, and this is some leftover bacon. I had like 3 strips left in a bag that was gonna go bad, so I just cooked it up and we're gonna use it today. And then, so I'm gonna heat all that up in the microwave, and then I'm gonna add avocado to mine. Mikey doesn't like avocado. Romaine, green onions, cheese. Mikey doesn't like cheese. Some extra protein with some plain Greek yogurt. And then the main portion is going to be the buffalo chicken, which I have going in the Instapot right now. So similar to what I showed you guys earlier a couple dinners ago, we love these B-dubs sauces. So this is the medium buffalo sauce. I used 1/3 cup of this, a tablespoon of butter, and cooked 2 frozen chicken breasts in the Instapot that I'm gonna shred, and we're gonna put those on top of everything too. So you could add ranch, would be really good, but I don't think we have any right now. If we do, maybe I'll add a little ranch too. Actually, probably won't because we have the creaminess of this, so we probably won't need it. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what everything looks like once it's all together. All right, so here is the finished product. It smells so good. There's the buffalo chicken, the Greek yogurt, the romaine, the cheese, the green onions, the rice, the chickpeas, the bacon, and the avocado. So many things. This is gonna be so delicious. Can't wait to eat it. Here's Mikey's without cheese, without avocado. I think that's the only difference. So, see you in the next Clean Out the Fridge dinner. Welcome back to tonight's Clean Out the Fridge dinner. We are making something that is actually in my cookbook. That's gonna be coming out later this year. But it's something that I make all the time because I usually have most of these items on hand. All you really need for it is an onion, a couple potatoes, a can of chickpeas, and some eggs. And then some seasonings like garlic, red chili peppers, oregano. But it's a chickpea potato scramble that I serve like an over easy or fried egg over. And it's really simple to make. So I'm gonna show you what I'm doing right here. I'm gonna flip you around and we're gonna get started. Okay, so I'm using my wok, but you don't have to use a wok for it. I have some olive oil in here and I am sauteing up one onion, a white onion, or rather it's a yellow onion, I guess. I cut it into strips, kind of like half circle, semicircle shapes, and we are cooking those down. This is on medium high, a little closer to medium than high, but obviously everybody's stovetop is different, and we're just going to saute these down until they start to brown. They're already kind of softening, you can see, but we're going to soften them up. Okay, so to this I have added a ton of garlic. You can see they're starting to kind of like sizzle up, brown. I added a bunch of garlic, minced garlic, some red pepper flakes, a lot of oregano, and then salt and pepper. And then over here I have a can of chickpeas or garbanzo beans that I drained. And we're going to coat all of that in the oil and the seasonings that we put in here. And we want these to fry up and get nice and crispy. So you need them to brown. So I try to like spread them out so they're like an even layer. And then every couple minutes I'll come in here and I'll stir them and make sure that all sides are crisping up nicely. But this should take about like 15-20 minutes. I have it again on medium high, but you want to make sure there's enough oil in there so that you can see that it's like there's a little bit sitting at the bottom there so that it's bubbling. That's good. So I'll check back here when they're getting a little browner. While we wait for the chickpeas, I'm taking, these are 3 smallish russet potatoes. I'm taking 4 of them. I've already done 1, and I'm just cutting them into these little cubes, getting these ready for the air fryer. I have cooked these with the chickpeas before, and I find that it's too much in one pan and they don't get to the crispy level that I like. So if this dish is best when the texture is right, and I like to make sure that the potatoes and the chickpeas are all nice and crispy. So I cook these in the wok here because they take longer, and then I do the potatoes in the air fryer because that's more hands-off, which is nice for those. So I'm gonna cut up the rest of these potatoes, season them with olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then pop those in the air fryer. So these are almost done. You can see that they're pretty crispy. Everything is starting to look nice and brown. And these are almost ready. They're looking good. Probably just a couple more minutes on those, and then I'll set them aside and start on the eggs. All right, so let me turn this fan off. Okay, so as you can see, now I am making some over easy eggs. I put 3 on this side for Mikey, 2 on that side for me, and I'll just slice that down the middle and serve this bunch on top of Mikey's and that bunch on top of mine. So I'm actually gonna put a lid over this so that the heat gets trapped and they cook, but I'm gonna leave the yolks runny. They're gonna be sunny side up rather, I guess, not over easy because I'm not flipping them. This is why I like to do the potatoes in the air fryer. They just come out so crispy and delicious. I've plated up the eggs and the chickpeas here. There's Mikey's. If you've been watching for any amount of time, you probably know that Mikey doesn't like cheese. So cheese on mine, not on his. I'm gonna add these potatoes to that empty side there and dinner will be ready. All right, so here's the finished plate. The chickpeas are hiding under the eggs. They're under there. Crispy chickpeas and onions, spicy, I should add, because they're red pepper flakes. The potatoes, and then the eggs are gonna be runny, so the yolks will get everywhere and make it all saucy. It's such a good breakfast. I mean, it'd be a good breakfast, but it's also a good breakfast for dinner. Nice and filling and full of protein and very healthy. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in my next clean out the fridge dinner. It is time for the last clean out the fridge dinner of the month. Let me actually flip you around here for a second. Okay, so, hi. It's January 30th, so this is gonna be the last dinner of the month. And this one's actually pretty interesting because I'm pretty proud of myself for coming up with this. I have been meaning to figure out how to make my own ricotta in the Instant Pot, and I did that yesterday. Found it in a cookbook, and I figured it out. So I turned 4 cups of 2% milk with lemon juice and salt into ricotta. And that yielded like half a cup, 3/4 of a cup of ricotta. And I just used it to make some ricotta gnocchi. So let me turn you around now and show you what I'm doing. Okay, so in this bowl, I put the ricotta gnocchi. I forgot to record before I did this, but I have 2 eggs, the like half cup to 3/4 of the cup. I'd say it was like 3/4 of a cup of the ricotta that I made. And then I did salt, kosher, like a pinch of kosher salt, a heavy pinch of kosher salt, and about, let's see, I started with a cup of flour, and then I added in about 3/4 of a cup, so I would say about a cup and 3/4 of flour. Obviously it's gonna be different depending on you. This is like why I don't measure, I just look for texture. And then I added a little bit, like a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. So I just kneaded that together, and it's already starting to rest. It's been resting for about like 5 minutes, but I'm gonna cover it up, let that gluten rest for a minute. Well, more than a minute, for like 15 minutes. And then we're gonna roll this out and we're gonna make a really quick and easy dinner. This is a great way to make gnocchi without having to boil and cook potatoes. I'm very excited, so we'll see where we go from here. All right, so the gnocchi has been resting, or the dough rather, and you can see that when I push into it, I don't know how well you can see that, but it like springs back. Might be kind of hard for that to show up, but it comes back, which means that it's ready and it's done resting. So we're gonna come over here, and I like to set up a board with some flour, and we're gonna cut this into smaller pieces, roll them out into logs, and roll some gnocchi. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like. So I have rolled out, it was about 1/8 of the dough. So I roll it out into a log. I do generally about like the thickness of my thumb, and then I use a brunch scraper to cut these. And then if you aren't comfortable rolling gnocchi, or if you don't have a gnocchi board, you can, I mean, you can just leave them like that. You can also use the back of a fork. Sorry, this is hard to do while I'm holding a camera one-handed. You can roll them against, I hope I got that. Let's do one more just in case I didn't. Roll it against the back of a fork like that to give you little grooves. This just helps the sauce stick. You can leave them like that, or my personal favorite is the gnocchi board, where you go like that. Are you gonna focus? There we go. You can see a little gnocchi with its ridges. So I'm gonna do all the gnocchi, get it all rolled out, and while I do this, you do want these to sit for like 15 minutes before you cook them. So I'm actually gonna roll them all out, then put some water on to boil to cook them, and then we're gonna make our sauce in here. And our sauce is also a clean out the fridge sauce. I found half of a diced onion, some shredded parm or grated parm. The last of this half and half, I found some dry white wine, olive oil, rosemary, butter, garlic paste. We're gonna make like a creamy white wine butter sauce with rosemary for ricotta gnocchi. So I'm gonna finish rolling all these little guys out and then I will meet you back here. All right, I'm back again. I have my gnocchi here sitting and we're actually going to cover them with a towel while our water boils so that they can rest. So I've got water that is coming to a boil here and we are gonna turn on this pan, a little over medium, like medium high. And we're gonna add some olive oil once it's hot and we're gonna start by sauteing our onions. Okay, so here we have our onions, kosher salt, a good amount of fresh cracked black pepper, and then I also added in about like a teaspoon of dried rosemary. I like it to get a little toasty. So these are gonna soften a little bit, and then once those are soft, I'm going to add a generous squeeze of garlic paste. Let that cook for like a minute maybe, just until it's fragrant, and then I'm going to deglaze the pan from some of this caramelization with the white wine. So I'll meet you back here when I add the white wine. Okay, so I added the white wine and it's like maybe half a cup. I don't know. These aren't real measurements, guys. And so we're gonna reduce that by half. So we're gonna let that simmer until a lot of it, well, half of it evaporates out. And then we're going to add half and half, some cheese and some butter, and it's gonna be delicious. Meanwhile, this is coming to boil, so we're actually gonna cook some gnocchi too. Okay, I have to be quick with showing you this. So I add in like 20 gnocchi at a time. It's really important that you don't add too many because then it'll drop the temperature and they won't cook properly. So they should all sink to the bottom, and then once they float to the top, that means that they are done. So I'm just adding them to this white wine cream sauce once they are done. So you have to cook them in batches. It's very, very, very important. Otherwise you will get gross, sticky, mushy gnocchi. Also, this is like very low. So we're gonna cook the rest and just basically like keep them warm in the sauce over here. And then I'll show you what they look like when we serve them up. All right, so here is all of that cooked gnocchi. I added a tablespoon of butter and we're gonna sprinkle in some grated Parmesan cheese just to finish it, because that's just how I finish all pasta dishes. So just a generous little sprinkle there. I mean, can you guys even believe this? Look at how delicious and creamy this is. This is about to be such a delicious dinner. I'm gonna plate it up and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, here is the finished plate. How delicious. That's Mikey's with no extra cheese on top. Mine obviously has extra cheese on top. I'm so excited. I can't believe that this all started, the idea for this came from a half gallon of milk that was gonna go bad tomorrow. So I made ricotta and then made ricotta gnocchi tonight, which was super quick. And it took me under an hour, 40 minutes. That's pretty crazy. So 40 minutes, you can have a fresh gourmet dinner that can impress anyone. Let me know if you try it out. That concludes this month's Clean Out the Fridge meals. I hope you enjoyed them. Let me know down below which one was your favorite, and I will see you at the end of February. Bye.